I'll start with you, Sumant. In a world which is facing energy security crisis, and many experts say after the 70s, the oil shock, this is the first time that this kind of a situation is panning out. How serious is the situation, and how insulated or not is India from this?
Yeah, thank you, Siddharth. Look, it's a pretty serious issue. The world was already heading towards an inflationary sort of very situation in terms of high commodity prices, high oil prices, and so on. And then, of course, we had the war with Russia invading Ukraine. And what that has done is the Western world has taken a very strong position against that. And clearly, Europe has decided that they now want to decouple themselves from imports of Russian gas, which they'd actually been weaned on for many, many years. So it's a tough act for them to take up. Now, as they are doing that, they are looking for any sort of quick fixes to that problem. So any short-term solution, whether it's fossil fuel or fossil fuel basis. And I think longer term, it's going to lead to a much bigger demand for renewable energy.
Which was exactly my second question, that is this going to spur green energy, or for the short term renewed investments in fossil fuels to tide over the shortage?
So it will do the latter.
Okay.
The thing is that nobody is going to make investments in fossil fuels that might get locked in for the next 20 years.
And this won't derail climate goals?
No, of course it will. There is no question. But to the extent that instead of burning Russian gas, you burn something else, and therefore the net climate, carbon emissions does not go up, it's still okay, right? The only thing is that Russian gas will also go somewhere else and will also get burnt.
So net
it might increase. We don't know. We have to wait and see. But what this is going to do is that certainly in the medium term, there's going to be more renewables, because that's the only other solution that presents itself. And of course, this whole energy shock is going to be felt everywhere else in the world, because as Europe starts pulling in whatever they can get from wherever else,
and they have the ability to offer more and therefore pay more. Praveer Sinha, on that note of Europe doing whatever it takes and sucking out stuff from the rest of the world, I think the domestic situation in India, for a country which still has perhaps among the largest coal reserves in the world, we've seen this recent season where the headlines were dominated by power issues. Early and very hot summer notwithstanding, that was last year as well. So are we in our own energy sort of supply crisis, irrespective of what is happening globally?
Hi Siddharth, thank you for having me on the show. Let's look at it from two perspectives. First is India depends on domestic coal to a large extent. Nearly 90-95% of India's power generation is dependent on Indian coal, and that to that extent is insulated. So whatever be the coal prices globally, it does not impact, excepting for the small quantity which is on imported coal, which is about, I think, something like 15 gigawatt, which is on imported coal. That will get impacted to a large extent. But it will not move the needle so much on a, if you see the energy basket or the power cost basket for India. As far as the second part of it is that the oil prices have gone up, and we have seen that how once again the oil prices are at $114 a barrel, and this will continue to hit India. And I think till such time the situation in Ukraine gets sorted out, this will be a challenge.
This kind of a situation, how important and significant is renewable power for India? Because, the issues of coal supply and the amount of investments that have gone into renewable power, would renewable power have been able to deal with this kind of a demand upsurge, Suman, that we saw?
Not really. Because obviously the amount of renewables we have in the grid today is very small. It would need to be a lot bigger. We would need to have a very differently designed grid with a lot of storage capacity in the system, a lot of flexible generating capacity as well. And only then could you be able to deal with these kinds of situations. So we're very far away from that at this point in time. Renewables penetration, as you know, is only about 11 or 12%. So we need to grow that to 40%, 50%, and then build in a lot of these balancing systems, whether it's storage or other generating systems, before we'll be able to deal with this kind of situation.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.